Hello, everybody. How are you? All right. It is. We are in July. We are almost done with the month. And what is today? July 30th. I have to look every time. Anyway, so for those of you who are joining me live or on the replay, my name is Mocha, and I'm really excited to be here today. It's Tuesday. It's the end of July, which feels absolutely amazing. And we're in a week of hearts, which is really cool. Why? Because I'm a 10 of heart, so I'm loving it. So I just wanted to come in, and I was thinking about the fact that sometimes when we hear numerologists come on and they talk, and they always are talking about the suits and the playing cards. And I just wanted to share a little bit of info about that, what that actually means. So, with that, if we go back a little bit, numerology, it's been around for over 2,000 years. It's mathematics, it's metaphysics, it's quantum physics, and it gives us our insight to our past, present, and our future. So, all of us, every human on this planet, we carry a unique code. We carry a frequency, and that frequency was based upon when and where. And we can look at that through a numerological chart. And it's so amazing. So, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Mocha-Mystique. I am the creator of Mental Magic and also the owner of Hub City Rossiter. So I help healers, coaches, and body workers. I love helping them to unlock and utilize their creativity for success. I love helping people to fulfill their passion for purpose and also their passion for helping others, but doing it without self-sacrifice, doing it without feeling like you have to have these massive boundaries, and actually living your purpose and passion to take it to the next level, because you don't have to self-sacrifice in order to help other people. So, good morning, Rosalie. Great to have you here. So, with that, I was thinking about with numerology, it is literally, we've got the cards, the playing cards, which some of you, when we are shuffling, we go on and we use, it's the codes hidden basically in plain sight. That's the beauty. Throughout all the years, religion, belief systems, they've all taken a toll. In fact, we still see that even today. They take a toll because somebody doesn't agree with beliefs. They don't agree with where people are coming from. And what's fascinating about that, a lot of people are persecuted. And I think some people still carry a pattern of that persecution feeling for just thinking what they think, for feeling what they feel, for doing what they do. And that has carried over again and again and again. And so what I love about numerology is it helps us discover many things. It helps us discover our life lessons, our thinking patterns, our propensity to psychological programming, why we do some of the things that we do. It also helps us with purpose and passion. Why am I here? What am I looking for? What am I trying to discover? You can use numerology as a way to help you clear your karma, but also as a way to discover your dharma. And that can be eye-opening in itself when you can understand that you are here to live a dharma-driven life, not a karma-driven life. It does not have to feel like you're always in a lesson, dealing with a lesson, where life is always happening to you. You can experience life happening through you. But to understand it through the numerological eye means that we're tapping into your unique code, your divine code of who you are, and having it resonate to you and through you. So when we get into the book of life, we've got the different suits, and I've got my cards here. So the numerological patterns that we have there, we look at the numbers. Each number, when you're looking at the cards, I'm looking at my camera here, you've got the cards. You've got, for example, the 5 of hearts, 4 of diamonds, right? We've all seen the cards, and cards that were never intended to be for any type of a game. This is the way of thinking, the thinking codes, the patterns, the frequencies that people, believe it or not, there is about 500,000 people that still live through the book of life, the Dodron tribe. They actually still will live through the wisdom of the cards. And I find it so beautiful. So, Robert Lee Camp, he is one of the industry greats with numerology. And one of my favorite ways that he explains the suits, in a sense, he talks about if you've got a group of people and we're all sitting in a room, and as those people are sitting there, they're all looking at this beautiful painting that has just come up. The typical reactions you're going to get from different people are going to be based upon their suit, their birth card. I, for example, I am a 10 of hearts. Margot and Rosalie, who have just joined, thank you for joining. Each of them, one of them is a diamond, one of them is a club. So let's say the three of us were all sitting in a room and we're checking out this painting. For myself, I may sit back and I look at that painting and I'm like, oh my gosh, I just get this amazing feeling from this painting. It's beautiful. I love it. There's this feeling that resonates from it. Whereas you may have Rosalie, when she's looking at it, she might look at that painting, sit back, and her response could potentially be, gosh, I really think I understand what the painting was trying to say when they painted that. I'm really getting it. And they may dive deeper down that path. Margot, for example, she might look at that painting and go, wow, I wonder how much that thing costs. And she's going to go right to the value of it. But then you may have somebody that's a spade. And for the spade, they're going to look at it through different eyes. And they're going to look at it through, I'm amazed at the quality of detail that went into creating this painting. And I think what's so fascinating is when we can understand that people have different thinking codes, different patterns, there's more acceptance, more of a realization. And I think that's why it's so important that people have an experience with numerology. It will allow for, my opinion, forgiveness in areas. It allows us to see different things. For example, when you bring in the ruling number, as a ruling number 3 and a 10 of hearts, I see things from all sides. I cannot just see it from a black and white perspective. My brain kicks in almost like a club. I align with clubs very well, the mental thinking of things. And my brain will kick in and it will be like, but what about this? And what about this? And what about that? And I will always look to defend. In some people's eyes, I will be the defender of even that which isn't great. But I can see it through the eyes. It's not about being a right or a wrong or a good or a bad. Law of polarity. There's no such thing. It's just what it is. You've got two sides of things. And that's how I see the world through my eyes. But somebody, for example, for like the diamond, like I was saying, they're going to want to know what the cost of something is. What is the cost to the action that was taken? How they've done said thing. What is the cost? And it's not always about the monetary cost, right? What is the love loss of of a relationship for doing something? And with clubs, they're going to be so much more in the mind. So the hearts, they're going to represent a lot of the emotions that are available to all of us. Hearts are also going to be representative of, for example, spring. Your clubs, they're going to represent pattern of thought in the mind. For a lot of clubs, in my experience, I have found it can feel like chaos for them. When they are out of sync, it's very chaotic. They don't feel it because the shape of the club, if you look at, if I grab a club here, it's hard to see, but if you can picture a club, and it also depends on how it's, drawn out or it's done, you can actually see hearts in a club. So clubs being so mental, something that for them to master will definitely be about bringing in an alignment of that mind and that heart, bringing it all together. And I also find it fascinating when you go to look is on there, if you were to flip this over, if you look at the one on the bottom, the information coming in, it's coming in to the mind, but then also as it's filling the body. And there's the heart of the brain, the heart of the mind, and it's the alignment of both is what will help a club to be more freeing. Now that can go in different ways and many layers, but that's what I see when I see the clubs. Diamonds, they're going to represent the physical world, the matter. There's going to be a lot of mirrored reflections that are happening. And I think at times diamonds have the potential to feel the heaviness, feel the self-sacrifice, feel the aspect of that comparison. The judgment mirrors can come up for diamonds quite a bit. They look outside of them for value versus looking in for value. And there's this back and forth dance that they may sometimes do because of where they choose to look for the value. Value is outside of me, value is within me, or realizing that they are the value. So diamonds, I noticed, at least in my experience in conversation, when I think of even just the shape of the diamond itself, I'm going to pull out the six diamonds. It happened to be what was right there. And even funny, it was just what fell out, and here we are. If Margot happens to still be on, but with that diamond, it feels that when I'm speaking to one, and I know somebody's a diamond, they just want me to get to the point. They're not into all of the the clubs. Let me see if I can clean this up a little bit. The clubs per se, they will take in for information. It just keeps coming in, coming in, coming in, and they can gather more and absorb more. Almost kind of like a clover or a plant. It can absorb and it can absorb, and you can add more seeds. And then they're like, ooh, I can grow here and I can grow here. And the sun's over here. I'm going to move over here. The diamond is like slippery slope. They just want you to get to the point, tell you what's happening, tell you what's going on. And can you just speed up the process? I don't need to hear all the details. Don't build me a watch. Just give me the time. That's kind of a diamond piece. When I look at the spades very much are, I feel, the soft-sided combination of all of it with a spade. The spades have, when I look at it, the essence of an upside down heart. The spades also have the stable aspect of the club. The spades carry the pointedness of the diamond. So when you look at a spade, I don't know if hopefully you can see this. We've got the heart, that stem of the club. We've got then that pointed, like I said, of the diamond coming in. So I feel that the spades are a culmination of all of this. And they want to know the depth of things, the deeper meaning of things. How did we get here? Let's pull all of the information that we have together. Let's pull a little bit from here, a little bit from here. And how can I bring deeper meaning into what it is, what I have, and do it again? And maybe if you've got somebody that's a seven of spades, it's going to be taking the essence of the seven, especially with it being a spade. I would find that those people may be somebody that says, you know what? I see what you're doing. I've gathered all the information. I can totally make it better, right? So those sevens are going to come in. They're going to make it better. They're going to give it deeper meaning. It's not going to be surface. It's going to be next level. And those experiences are going to really transcend for somebody that's a spade. They're also going to have to kind of walk that line, and they take the information as it's coming in. For some spades, if they are living only in the mind, it's going to be hard. If they're only in the heart, it's going to be even harder. But they walk this line with a heavy awareness, not that all the suits don't, but a heavy awareness of the support of the divine at times, depending on if they choose to let that in. And so I think there's so much information that we can see when we just look at the cards. The tens, for example, when you look at the cards just from a placement aspect, is they are surrounded. And I had to pull out the tens. Where's my camera? I pull out the tens here because if you look at them, it's all of the matter surrounding themselves. And so when I look at that, Waldo, so where I'm just going to pull that 10 of spades birth card. So when I look at the 10, for example, tens have the ability as a birth card perspective, overwhelm. There can be so much information that's coming in. And as that information is coming in, it's like, I've got all this stuff all around me, and they have to know what they want to pick out of their garden to pursue next. Sometimes I feel with the tens. And with that, it's the aspect of, can you realize that you are truly floating and you have the full support of anything and everything? But I think sometimes with tens, I'm a 10 of hearts. I sometimes will look through the cracks. I sometimes will see it's not working. I don't know why it's not working. Forgetting that I am fully supported by everything, that I don't need to be in overwhelm, that I don't need to be in struggle, that I truly can just do and be what it is that I want to move forward with if I'm willing to listen. So I'm curious. So I am going to be pulling cards today. Want to look at the energy of the day. But if anybody would like a card I'm going to pull, just throw your question in the comments here. I'd love to start doing that. But yeah, so we have, I think too, as we jumped in this week, as I was talking, a shift that is happening. So that shift, it's the 30th. a lot of you may have noticed on Monday, we had a psychological change. And I think that that is why in some areas of just events in the world and different things like that, that it felt people felt far more passionate to speak their mind, say their things. It was a passionate time of triggers coming up. So I think the week is holding out to be a very interesting week that's coming in. So let me jump in. I see some coming in. And the card for the Leo full moon coming up. Okay, I will ask. I will say, with the numerology, I am not as familiar from an astrological aspect. So when you say that question, I am going to ask, I'm calling out a friend, calling for help. And what I mean by that is I really don't know astrology as much. I know the essence of the numerology and how it impacts the planets. But when we're asking specific to the full moon, I don't understand the influences of that. So I want to be transparent. If you're asking simply, how will I be impacted by that Leo full moon coming up? I can answer that question. So if you can fine tune it a little bit for me, that would be most helpful. And I'll shuffle here. Hey there, Vicky. Good to see you. So let me fix my screen here. Oh, I lost everybody. Where'd y'all go? There we go. Okay. So, all right. So with that, yeah, go and throw your questions in the chat, but I will see if she's gonna ask full moon coming up. So the other thing I was thinking of with the suits is something that I learned that was most helpful. So when I've been teaching my Rossiter classes, the bodywork classes that I also do for connective stretching, what I'm finding interesting is I've been asking the students what are their birth cards so that I know how I can relate and speak to some of the students. And a lot of my classes lately have been full of clubs, totally full of clubs, which I find fascinating. But what does that tell me? That also tells me that I need to know that I'm going to have a chatty group. I'm going to have a group of people. This was in my last class. It was it was a level 2 class. Chatty. They all wanted to talk. They wanted to work things out. What does this mean? And they are thinking about the things that are yet to come, what could be, all of the things. So it was absolutely fascinating. Then when I thought my level 3 class came around, both of them were diamonds. So I realized the chatty extra information that I gave in my previous class, that didn't sit well with them. And it was actually funny because one of the students, her and I, it wasn't a butting of heads in a negative way. It was more of she's trying to explain something, I'm trying to explain something, and we are simply not seeing eye to eye. And it literally boiled down to we were speaking totally different language simply due to not getting it. I sometimes understand what a diamond is saying and sometimes I don't. I need more explanation. And in their mind, they're like, I just gave you the answer. I just gave you the information. How are you not getting this? So it kind of makes me laugh. So sometimes I think that's what happens in society is there's some of the suits we just don't connect. We're not talking well to each other, not because we don't want to. It's not about not being kind. We just simply don't get each other at times. So I'm going to jump up to Wilda's just to see. I'm going to do it how I'm interpreting her card here. What's the card for the Leo full moon coming up? And I'm going to answer that specific to her. I didn't see anything else come in with that. 11 all the 10s here. So good. Yeah. Exactly, Rosalie. I'm seeing your comment. The 5 is not the 5s. I can totally see where it would be just give me the time. I don't need you to build me the watch. One of those. They're not clockwork people. Okay. I love it. Believe it or not, the card I pulled that I just pulled with Wilda's question here was a 2 of hearts speaking to a 5 of diamonds. Let's see. When I look at the cards, so this card reading for you, Wilda, what's coming up that I'm getting for you is it feels like there's a shift. A shift is happening. that you had an idea and something came in and you've scrapped it. And it's coming back to there's a connection of self that is wanting to happen. It's like you keep laying the groundwork and then you're walking away from something. I'm laying the groundwork and then I walk away and things are flowing, but it it feels like with the way I'm looking at the cards is the feedback you're getting is causing you to make the shift, make the change. So some of the ideas that you have had, the fours are coming out here. So I've got some kings here. So let me look at something really quick here. Let's see. It feels like there's something, Wilda, that you would like to bring into the material aspect of things. I don't know if it's a course or a program or a new way that you want to add into how you do things. And the container, it feels like you're thinking of how to create this container for this new idea, new thought, or new experience in doing so. But it's bringing up a little bit of internal information for you. It's bringing up a little bit of some things that are calling on you to work on and work through. And there's a part of it that it feels like you keep putting the lid on it and you look at it and then you put the lid on it. You look at it and you put the lid on it. And so it feels like it's taking you back to square one with a few things. So you had an idea, you poured all your heart and soul into it, something shifted. Felt like you're back at the drawing board potentially. Then you had an idea, you had it come all the way through, but then potentially weren't sure. And then the mind started to kick in. And as the mind started to kick in, it shifted. But in doing so, whatever final pieces that you're kind of clearing out and clearing through and going through internally, it's actually going to shift something for you. But it's going to be a new idea, a new project that it looks like that that is going to manifest and to plant the seeds, like a rebirthing aspect of what's going to be coming up for you with that. So let me know how that resonates. Didn't see anything more in the comment for me to kind of go on. So if something comes up or that does or doesn't resonate, just let me know. So, okay. Sound healing sessions. Do I need to update my offerings? Do you? Do you? Update your offerings for sound healing. Do you mean like sound bowls? I'm curious. Sound bowls, sound healing. What is a sound healing session? And have you tapped in, Margot, to your ideal client, the aspect and energy of your ideal client? And if you have done that, what does it feel like in the alignment, that alignment offering that you have? Do you feel that you're speaking to your ideal client? I'd be curious on that. Let's see here. Got it. Crystals and Tibetan bowls. Perfect. There's part of me that's like, or is it because it's the 6 in you that you're curious, that you think you should be changing something up? What is it that has you even questioning updating your offerings? I'm curious as to that. I'm going to shuffle here. Yeah. I think it feels that if you dive into that, or if it's not something you're looking to dive into and it's something that you want to schedule a session with and do together, but I think that would help you to explore and solidify that aspect of things. Okay, that actually helps. And Dana needs a refresher. So 2 parts to that. Yes and yes. All right. Doing 9 cards. Okay. fascinating. I have an entire diagonal of jacks. Jacks, jacks, jacks. And it feels like in the moment that, yes, I'm going to say yes to this when I look at the cards, because what I'm seeing is as I look at the cards, you struggle with the jacks. The jacks feel like they're coming in to say, I love that there's three. It's really a choice. And who and what do you want to collaborate with? Anytime that I feel that there is a shift in updating the offerings, I also think it's a time to update our value system in business, where our values are, and reassess those. And with values in general, I don't know if you've done the brain game previously. If you have, then you do know that with our values, we don't want more than three. And values in business can be very different than values with family. And values in those two areas can even be different with if you're in, for example, a corporate job. So a reassessment of values is going to help you align, one, in ways that you haven't considered, because it's tapping back into who you are now. The other thing I see with the jacks is, with there being three, is I'm looking back to what I've done. Then if I go to update my offerings and I do this, do I have to change everything? And the answer is no. An update of refresh could be, what is the energy that you're bringing in? Because we're always evolving. We're always evolving. We are not the same person. The body is in that rendering. The body will render every 30 seconds. With the changes that can always happen and happen so quickly as we change, if you haven't done anything to revamp it per se, update your offerings per se, then it's always time to do that. But it doesn't mean you've got to build a new website. It doesn't mean you've got to completely shift the program. You could look at it from a place of energetics of, what is the frequency that I'm pouring into? Maybe it's a time to, as you've dived in deeper to your numerology, maybe it's time to really see if the frequency of for example, the name, does the name of what you call your offerings resonate? You could look at the frequency for each letter of the name of your business and see if that resonates. Do the prices resonate? There will be some prices that are a psychological turn on and turn off in business, right? So we do see a lot of, especially in the numerology world, we offer, what are the offerings that we have? The 111, the 333, the sevens. Sometimes you'll even see nines utilized. So you could look at it from a place of that. You can navigate that aspect of your ideal client. And as you do so, it feels like the jacks are coming in and saying, you have enough and you know enough, but where can you expand? Where can you look ahead? I love that there's the jack of spades and the jack of clubs that are asking you to go within in order to make this transition of thought. And if with going within, if you're doing it because you think it will be to get the people, because I don't have enough, because I need this in order to make the change. If I just had enough clients here, then I could leave my full-time job. If I just had, right? So if it's this give and take, tit for tat aspect, then it's not going to be the outcome that you're looking for. But I think you answered your own question truly with it. You already know that it's mundane and you already know it's becoming a refresher. Now it's, how would we do that? And I would go back to, again, it's where can you master the aspect? Where is there a maturity piece that you can bring in the essence of you to elevate what it is and where it is that you've been, and that next step, that next level of what it is that you're looking for. So I think when you sit with it from a place of, what is it that you want to look like? What is it that you want to feel like when you're doing the sound bowls? And maybe do your own sound bath for yourself. And as you sit in that, what is it creating? What is the frequency that it's building in and creating that would allow for the refresh versus just sitting and thinking about it truly from a aspect of a diamond mind? If you could see it through the mind of a 10 of hearts, for example, how would it feel like to have a sound bowl, a sound bath with you? And for example, if it was maybe potentially Rosalie sitting here, what wonder what the deeper meaning is of the sound bowl, right? Coming from those perspective, the deeper meaning. Why would I want to do the sound bowl? Like, what is this gonna do for me, through me? And you were speaking to the suits of it, for example, or just specific to your ideal client. I think that's gonna help. And then Vicky, 10 of clubs, wanting to feel, imagine her standing in the center of that card, if she was coming to you and feeling the wholeness and the fullness all around. And could that sound bowl help to relieve or give her some type of a peace where she's just caught up in the swirl of things? So I think you can play with it from the aspect of imagination and inner offerings in order to find what it is that you're looking for through that. So let me know how that resonates for you. So let me see here. All righty. Rosalie, did you have a question that you wanted a card on? Yeah, I'm laughing at your comment. 5 of diamonds. He's not into the grand elaborations. Yeah, so true. So true. Let me see here. Some cards. So let's see if somebody else has a question here. But as I'm sitting here, so I was looking at the aspect of the energy of today being Tuesday. And today we added in our tic-tac-toe, and the 3 came in. So with that 3, we entered in an area where we haven't had the mental plane coming in at all. And with that, so today we added the mental plane. We added the 3 to our tic-tac-toe chart. And we've also got the 2s and the 4s and the 7s. What I think is going to be fascinating, you're so welcome, Margot. What I think it's going to be fascinating is look at tomorrow. Margot, I'm going to add this to what I was telling you. Look at tomorrow for what's coming in. And the reason I say that is tomorrow we actually have the bottom part of the tic-tac-toe is filled in and the full left side. And it feels like that anything we want to do, there's this like coming into order. It's a 2-day, it's a 10 of hearts day. So going to be all in the feelings, not in a place of allowing to be overwhelmed by our feelings because of it being a 10 of hearts. But if we came into a collaboration of self tomorrow, a collaboration of self and in our thinking patterns. So let's see, Mercury, Venus, Mars. Tomorrow will be, what are the things that we want to do from that aspect? How do I want to show up? What choices am I making? Where am I collaborating? And that left side of the chart, what I'm loving about it is going to have to bring in that aspect of the heart, but it'll be kind of if I look just really quick, the first time we have the mental, emotional, and the mental, emotional, and the physical plane where there is a number in all of the areas. And with doing that, it's going to feel like a seed planting day, I feel like, with that. So I've entered stage left. What choices? What are my thoughts? What are my ideas? What are things happening? And as I'm in that top line card with that 3, it's like, okay, what seeds am I planting? So, but what's going to be really cool about tomorrow's definitely going to be a day filled with focus and alignment. And I'm talking from a collective level, from that 1 and 2 in there. And nestle in, bring in the heart energy so that you can feel that what is my next step? What is the next stage that I want to take this in? And be with that energy and just be with that. And tomorrow may be a day where it feels most supportive in terms of like the actionable steps that you want to take in order to do the next. So let's see here. Could I have a card pull on keeping love and renewed energy into my relationship? The husband has been working out of town 10 days on and will be home Thursday, but I want to make the most of the quality of our time together. Yeah, I love it. I love it. Now I'm going to pull up, let me see if I can pull a chart here. I'm going to pull up what is Thursday. Let's see if I can find my calendar. Oh, there it is. Let me pull up my calendar quick. I just am curious, Vicki, what we're in June, July, August. Ooh, it's an 8 and a Queen of Diamonds day. Oh, I love it. 8 and a Queen of Diamonds day. That's going to be awesome. So I think what's making that awesome, in my opinion, because there's going to be a lot of momentum. And with it being a queen, the receiving aspect of things. So 8 and Queen of Diamonds. All right. Going to do a 9-card draw. What renewed energy into my relationship? I'm curious, Vicki, do you happen to know your husband's birth card? I think Thursday is going to be awesome because if with it being a queen, it's definitely going to be a nurturing energy on Thursday, a celebration energy. So I think Thursday is going to be a great day of support for you with that. Nice. Just from being a 6 of hearts, going to feel like he's already super receptive to literally anything you do will be quality. Literally. Ruling number. Okay. That is crazy. So I did a 9-card draw. My center card is a 6 of hearts. And let's see. In that, so what I find interesting, so as I pull in this card, the center card with it being, like I said, the 6 of hearts. And what's fascinating is the card it's speaking to at the moment is the Queen of Spades, even though, let me see here. What is that? I just looked at the calendar. The Queen of Spades, and it'll be a Queen of Diamonds day overlaid with an 8. So I think what's going to be really fascinating is that you're doing this. The first thing truly when I look at the cards that is coming to mind is the love of just the idea and the intent is already going to set the tone for that quality time. And in doing so, the cards are really speaking so loud to not forget yourself in this. That the action that you take, you want to definitely make sure that you give to yourself first. That Queen of Spades is like, yes, by just being who I am, what I am, that showing up with just wanting to create that is going to set the foundational tone for what it is you're looking for. So that first line coming in is you've already planted the seed. You're coming in and you're like, this is the very thing that I want to do. I want to have connection. I want to make the most of it. And It's looking at, you've already got the focus. That is the focus. So as you come in, it's that as I come into the center line, it's how can I create a deeper meaning and a higher experience that involves not only him, but myself. When I go to, let's say you go to pick a restaurant, are you going to pick a restaurant because if you happen to go to dinner, because that's his favorite? Or could you, for a first time, come in and experience it so he can experience it through you? I'm going to pick the restaurant. I'm going to pick where we sit. I'm going to pick this, and I want to experience him in a little bit of a different way and add a flair. So sometimes I think with the tens, we're so ready to do for the other. We want to make sure that the other people are happy. We want to make sure they're comfortable. And we do it for and through love that we sometimes forget ourselves. And it's not truly what we want, even though we're still having a great time, but it's not coming from the pure aspect of a good time because we want everybody to be happy. We want everybody to get along sometimes, not, or most of the time, right? And especially for me and being a 10 of hearts. So with it, the 6 is coming in and saying, I need you to look at this experience, but I need you to have stronger and better communication with yourself. Now I'm in my center line of my 9. I need you to have better and stronger communication of self and just know through that you're fully supported by whatever decision you make, that it's going to be absolutely amazing. And then what I see happening is it's going to be, there's still that 6 coming in, that there's going to be a bunch of gratitude and fulfillment and love and beauty that you're going to see being expressed. And it feels like it's going to be expressed communicatively, some playfulness, some joyfulness. And there's going to be a different type of fulfillment. That 10 of spades is coming and saying that you're going to like experience a deeper fulfillment from this happening. So it might play tricks on you. It feels like there may be a little bit of trickery that might happen, like where you're like, I don't know if he really likes it. I should have just done it this way, or I should have done it that way. And that won't be the case. Don't let it trick you into thinking that you should have done something another way, and bring in that full expression of yourself. So sometimes we only see things in a certain way, but think of the 6 as that 6-sided cube. Just because you can see the 3 sides, you can't see what's happening on the other side of things. So no matter what you do, there will be so much happening, so much support coming in that you will really be able to experience something very passionate, very loving. But if you forget the essence of yourself, that's going to be where it's not going to have the magic that you're looking for. So that is going to be how it's going to help you to support you to have the most quality of time. And a lot of this feels like it's going to be communication with yourself. How are you communicating with yourself? Are you bringing in your experience, your love, your ideas, your thoughts, your momentum, your joy, your flair to this, where it's not just about he's coming home, I'm going to do this and this and this in order to prepare for this and this and this. So let me know how that resonates for you. Let me see. I think I saw it blink here. Yeah. Yeah, I get that. We do. When we have partners and they go off and they're working, we're holding down the fort. We're doing all the things. And sometimes we fall into this. I got to get the house ready. I got to clean up. I want to get everything ready, and I want to surprise said person. And in doing so, again, we're doing it for them, all the things for them so that they can be happy. But it goes back to, I was talking about this earlier today, is when we go to do those very things, are we focusing and making sure that we are not self-sacrificing? We want to make sure that we don't self-sacrifice when we do the things. And sometimes self-sacrifice comes in the smallest ways. Sometimes self-sacrifice can be an example, like in this particular example with Vicky, is, am I doing all this stuff in order to prepare, in order to get ready for somebody to come home? But I've forgotten that I kind of don't really like that restaurant. But I'll just go because that's his favorite. I don't really like the food there. I don't like the staff, whatever it is. Right. And we just put up with it in order to make somebody else happy. So a lot of us will sometimes do that. So where is it? Maybe you pick neutral territory. I want to go here. Maybe it's that you always go out and you want to put some candles in the house or do something fun in the home to spark that. The other thing I would say, Vicky, is what you could do is fall into the emotional aspect. So you've done brain game. So what is it going to feel like when he comes home? That what would it feel like to include yourself in the experience that you're looking to have? To see his face, to be like, oh my gosh, to feel him feel something actually different and like excited and joyful and sexy and hot. What is that going to feel like? Because you poured more of you into this experience. So I'm excited to hear how that goes. I hope it's going to be amazing for you. So any other questions coming in? Let me see. Let me look at the comments here. Let me look. Yeah. So I actually want to check in how let me see. Let me grab this card here. What do we have for August? It looks like, yeah, we are shifting into, diamonds. So it's going to really poke the bear for some folks, I think, starting Thursday, August 1st, all the way through the 1st through the 12th. It is going to be about the diamonds, the value, how we see the world, how the world is responding back to us. You are so welcome, Vicki. Thank you. I think the diamonds coming in are really going to reflect value. So sometimes people will be questioning their worth. They will be questioning, am I good enough? Or do I have to come into the sacrifice? I've got to sacrifice. I've got to work hard. I've got to do all of this stuff in order to have. I need more. I want more. So the diamond aspect, people may notice that, I haven't had business in a long time, or I have had business, or business is exploding. They may notice it that way. The material aspect, are we too attached to our possessions? Do we have attachments in possessions and ideas in the ways of doing something in the material world? How it relates to people, codependency aspects may come up. So those are the things that the diamonds can sometimes bring up for people. And it's really going to be a time for those 12 days of remembering that the value is inside of you. The value, you are the value. The value that you seek is the value within. If you have a world where you're seeing nothing but devalued, low emotional frequency, low aspect, it's time to check in. I did a post yesterday or whenever, I think it was yesterday, and it was talking about the world needs self-responsibility. The world truly needs self-responsibility and not your lectures. And what that basically is when you have an emotional response to something, when you have an emotional response to what's happening outside of you, that is a time to check in. The self-responsibility piece comes in what are the triggers? What's coming up for me? What is it that I need to look at? Because it's never outside of you. It has nothing to do with what's happening outside, the events, the politics, the people, the health, the whatever. It is truly always about you. Like that old cliche, the one finger pointing forward is three pointing back. Like that has never rang so true as it does now. So that's really something good to look at, to give you an awareness, and it's great feedback, and it's something that allows you to have growth in. So those areas, when people have triggers, emotional triggers and emotional response, they feel it in the mind and they feel it in the body. That is a time to go within. That is a time to reassess. That is a time to grow. Maybe that is a time to hire somebody like myself, a coach that you look at and say, okay, these are the patterns that I'm having. I'm having these patterned emotions. When certain events come up in the world, I am struggling with, it really upsets me that why do people think this way, or why I can't imagine somebody would ever vote for this person. All of those things, you're basically creating feedback in your body that is not helping you. So it doesn't mean that you're numb to the world. It doesn't mean that you don't know what's going on. It has nothing to do with that. It's self-regulation of the body at a cellular level. And you can harness in a frequency of love that supports the body, that nurtures the body, that allows you to have awareness, but not destruction of the body. We're talking about the evolutionary aspect of who and what you are from a cellular aspect. So, Rosalie, what's good to know? All righty. Let's see, Rosalie. Okay. The 10s are hot today, coming in hot today. That's what's good to know. All right. So, in this, it feels like 9-card draw for you as well, Rosalie, that you're just so much in your mind. Like you're in your mind more than ever. And I think the influence of this week with the hearts coming in, it's even a little bit more intense for you, is what it feels like. That there's this aspect of where you're just standing here and there's this idea, that idea. It feels like there's a lot of commands on your time and you're looking out going, how do I do it all? How am I going to do this? How am I going to do that? I need to know what to do, how to do it, where am I going to do it? How am I going to have the money to do this? But I want to do this. How am I going to? And you're just in this place of just chaos. Like there's just so much happening that you don't even know where to start. And where there's just too much external stimulation. So it has you a little bit flustered. So it feels like there's a time, at least today in this moment, of coming in and deciding for you what's most important to you. And if I could just make one simple choice for my next step, what would it be? What would the meaning of it be? If I could encompass from a place of alignment my mind, body, soul, and my heart, what would my next step be? It doesn't mean that I've got to do this, do that, gather it all up. I don't have to plant a garden, build a garden, create a garden, grow a garden, water the garden, harvest the garden. It doesn't all happen in one day. But if I were to just break it down, and I think going into values, like I was talking about earlier, from a values-based decision, what would be my next step? And in that value-based decision of my next step, it would allow for a clearing of the mind. Things could just flow through me. I would be surrounded by the love and emotion of self. Things would start to shift. They'd get off my plate and I'd be able to move forward. But it feels like there's a piece that needs to come in to allow you to have that next level of expansion, that next level of what it is that you want to do, but that the body's in a little bit of a fight or flight. And in that fight or flight, it's not allowing you to cultivate the way you naturally cultivate, normally cultivate, the way you dance with life. And so the mind is really at play here, it feels like. So the communication that's coming in, there's a lot of external chatter. And it's almost like if you could just create a box and push it all away, what would you be hearing? And truly the best hearing that you could do would be the hearing of your heart and your mind and the hearing of what's truly just within your own soul right now. So that's what it feels like. Let me know how that resonates. But it's an internal aspect that there's too much happening going on for the demands that you have on you. And the cards are basically saying, can you come into self? Can you come back to what you know, who you are? Take a little bit of a refresh. And it feels like a time of integration that's needed to integrate, to be able to reflect and journey so that you can start anew. And in doing so, there'll be some fulfillment that will happen, some creativity that will happen, and the steps are going to adjust for you. Some things are going to just fall into play so that you can refresh with what it is that you're trying to do. So let me know how that resonates for you. All righty. Let me see here. All right. I'm going to do tomorrow. Let's see. Going to give you while I'm really here. What do we got? I keep going to tomorrow. I think I'm really excited about tomorrow because it's a 10 of hearts day. It's a 2 plus a 10 of hearts. So maybe that's why. So tomorrow's energy is definitely going to be about connection, compassion, making decisions, coming into that. So a great day for meditation, a great day to fall into your own trust and your faith. Tomorrow actually has the potential with people to bring them into a place of insecurity, being a little decisive, feeling disconnected, and not wanting to be around others. So there's going to be the high and a low side of what's happening tomorrow. And that influence of the 10 is going to bring people in either a little bit wanting to, like I said, be with others, create connection, have that collaboration, or they may be on a refresh to rebirth, to think a little bit more. But it's also looking at the infinite possibility of what tomorrow may bring. So tomorrow could be an interesting day for some people. It's going to really, that psychological influence of just the few days of coming in through the hearts is really going to be a button pusher for some people. Going to wake some people up. Some people may feel a little bit kind of low energy. There could be a depressive aspect as well. But it'll also be interesting for people that don't like to feel their feelings, that don't like to navigate emotional mastery, that don't know how to navigate emotional mastery. So if this has been a challenging week for you, it would be a really good day to maybe journal some things out tomorrow before we shift into diamonds, and not carry the influences of what you've been struggling with or what you've been dealing with and carry them into that month of August. So anyway, unless I see another comment in, I'm going to wrap things up, but I really appreciate everybody coming on today. And again, if you'd like to schedule, I'm really excited. I'm putting on some of the final finishing touches of my website. So I'm super excited for that, and getting it to where everything's concise. I don't have things here and there and all over the place. So I'm really excited to bring it all in and get that going. I am also writing a book, so I'm collaborating with some authors on a book. So lots of fun stuff that is just coming up for me. So I'm super excited to share. Can't wait. And I'm still doing my coaching, so still coaching. So if you're looking for that aspect of how do I have emotional mastery, how do I basically help others without self-sacrifice, how do I set the boundaries so that I know that I can do the thing, how do I basically live the life I want to live, but not by all the rules that people have. Not because somebody said I needed to check all these boxes, cross the T's, dot the I's. You have that creative flair, and that's what it is that you desire to do, and you want to bring that out to the world. That's where I come in. That is how I can help you. There's several different ways that people can work with me. People can choose to work with me through the one-on-one coaching, through the numerology. It can be one-off sessions. It can be even in the 10-week immersion. So there's different price points. There are different ways of doing so, to include something as simple as a mini via messenger, quick blueprint into your ruling number. So if you'd like to check some of that out, you can feel free to DM me. I will also, like I said, be updating very soon with my website. Super excited for that. And if you're curious to know more, we can always figure that out. I've got a link on my Facebook page, which you can also hit. There are going to be some application questions, because I also want to make sure that we're a good fit. I'm not for everybody, and not everybody's for me. So I am selective in who I work with and how I choose to work with people, and people need to understand what's expected of them when they choose to work with me. So, but I'm excited to meet you at any point in time. And yeah, I will be back next week. Different topic, different idea, and we'll do cards again. So I hope everybody has an amazing week. And remember, as we shift into diamonds from the 1st through the 12th, it's going to be about the value that you hold within yourself, the value and the love that you carry and spread throughout. And it's not going to be about the value that's outside of you. You are enough, always. All right, everybody, take care.